Hello, friends. This is the Empress of the Manor, and I just wanted to get on here really quickly before this episode. One, to apologize because it's late. Two, to let you know there was some issues with the filming. The son decided it wanted to be the star of the show towards the end of the episode, and so it's going to be hard to see us. But I am going to still put the episode out because the third reason it's taken me so long to edit this episode is just because it's a little triggering, and so I do want to give you all a trigger warning. In the "What Would the Aunties Say" segment, there was a story about a woman who is suffering from domestic violence and abuse, and you will actually get to see me triggered in real time because I am a survivor of emotional and physical abuse. So I'm still putting the episode out because I think what is said is important. And if you are a victim of physical or emotional abuse from a partner, I'm going to put a number up here. It's a hotline that you can call or text for help. And I hope you all enjoy the show. Hey, this is the House of Hamm. I am the Empress of the Manor, and down here we've got
Lady of Shade.
That's right, Miss Lisa. She's the Lady of Shade, and we have a special guest today, and it is
Lady Hazington.
That's right. Miss Amanda is joining us today. We had so much fun the last time.
Yeah.
We thought we'd do it again.
You had fun with all that ranting I did?
You may have some anger issues, lady.
Rants are fun.
Rants are fun.
Rants are fun.
Rants are fun.
More
oh my
people
god.
should try it. I agree. But not at work, where I want to do most of my ranting.
Oh Lord. She's trying to get fired, y'all. Okay. All right. So now we're going to get to the next segment. We're going to talk about what we are growing or working on. I am currently I've got more lettuce than I know what to do with. I cut it about, I can't remember. Was it like a week, maybe a week and a half? And I had to cut it again. And I like salad. I don't know if I like salad that much. I have a lot of lettuce. I thought, when I planted it all, I thought, I'm going to have lots of lettuce, and this is going to be great. But now I have too much lettuce, so I'm trying to give that stuff away.
Yes,
so,
you really are.
I know. I think I've given bags to both of you guys.
Yep.
All right, Miss Lisa, what are you working on, growing?
I've been the lazy gardener this season, so I've got some stuff that got planted late, and it's starting to come up. So, and there's still a couple of things I'm like, I should probably get that planted too, because I forgot. I was being lazy. I forgot. I got some herbs that need to be planted, and
yeah.
I've got a couple of tomatoes that need to be transplanted.
Yeah, tomatoes. Wait, do you have to, if they start getting bigger, you have to plant them in something else, or
not
start them in a smaller pot, or
well, if you start them yourselves, yes, you're supposed to. Did I this year?
Okay.
No, I did not. Are they going to make it? I guess we'll find out.
Stay tuned, everybody. All right, Lady Hazington, what about you?
Well, I did end up going to North 40 to get some plants because I didn't do as much from seed as I wanted to this year. But one of the things that I really like to make is I like to make German food. Mm-hmm. And so I got some German thyme this year instead of English thyme.
What's the difference?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
But I wanted to get more. It said German, so I said, yes, this is going in my mushroom gravy next time I make Jaeger schnitzel. So pretty excited about that.
We would like to be on the invite list for Jaeger schnitzel, please.
Okay. Done and done.
So, okay.
It's good.
I love schnitzel.
Mine. So we'll talk about schnitzel secrets on another episode.
Okay.
But I have a few.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love going to Das Steinhaus because I always discover something that I love. There's this grapefruit beer. It doesn't taste like a beer. Delicious. Hefeweizen. There's actually a Hefeweizen I really like as well. And schnitzel. Oh my God. Schnitzel.
They're
is
all really good.
So
there.
good. Yes. So usually if somebody says, "Oh yeah, we're going karaoke at Doc Stein's house," I'm like, "Count me in. I'm going to eat."
It's the best part.
So it really is. So yeah.
Especially because there's always too many singers there.
That's why it's because
But
of
it's
the
okay.
German
I can
food.
go and eat. But see, for me, it's like I can go and eat. I might sing a couple songs, and I'm good. I'm back home and feeling good, feeling full and happy.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Hey, and you know what? Another very important situation, because we've all done bands before, when they include a meal
Oh yeah.
in your pay
Yeah.
when you're going to go sing.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's a
Absolutely.
game changer.
It can be.
Yeah, it
Yes.
can
Well,
be,
depending
yes.
on if the food is
Exactly.
Well,
if they're giving
yeah.
me free food that I wouldn't want,
Then
then that's
I'd
not
rather
a
have
perk.
the extra 20. Thank
right.
you.
Yes, exactly.
I'll
So-
get a burger on the way home.
But you never say that either.
Oh
so
no!
you
right.
just- thank you for your hospitality.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We love being here. We love the crowd.
Right. Right.
Which generally we
Yes.
do.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's what we're working on. We're gonna move on to a segment that Lady Hazington has thought up for us. It's called
Stoney Snacks.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Stoney
Uh-oh.
Snacks.
I come up with these when I've had an evening puff or three. And I
6.
right? Are they healthy? No. Most of the time, no. Did I invent them? Also, probably no. But they
Do
have
I
enough.
eat them?
Well, do I eat them? Yes. Yes, I do. And the ones that I remember, I decided that we're going to share on House of Hamm. So the first one we're going to do.
Me.
Yeah, she has to eat them too.
I'm scared.
The first one we are going to make is Triscuit pizza nachos.
Oh boy!
Okay.
If we don't like them, Dragon will eat them. I'm
You're
sure.
seeing-
Pizza, you put pizza in there, and
This is a perfect
yeah.
gaming snack, but make sure you have plenty of napkins depending on how you do the sauce.
okay.
So-
Oh, okay.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
All right, I'll set that there for you. Okay.
Okay. So this is the basic version of Triscuit pizza nachos. We're not going to get fancy with any toppings or anything, but you know how when you do microwave nachos, when you've had a couple puffs and the munchies hit, you just want to throw some shredded cheese on top of some chips and put them in the microwave because you just know you're hungry.
You don't have to do that. You don't have to puff for that. I like chips and cheese. So.
See? See, it is a universal language.
I don't know about Triscuits though. Guess
You
we'll
know
find
what?
out.
Are those gluten free?
Are they? Let's look.
Did I just see a wheat sign on there?
Oh, 100% whole grain.
Oh, one.
Sorry,
Okay.
Miss Lisa.
Oh no.
I'll just have to watch you guys.
Okay. I'm
Miss Lisa
excited.
is gluten intolerant, by the way. So.
I will remember that before the next episode of Stoney Snacks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let me help you
so
with your.
you just like you would some corn chips or whatever. You're just gonna put. Yep, and then there's your cheese now because they're pizza nachos. We're going to put mozzarella cheese on top of our Triscuits.
Do you
Yes.
need a spoon to put the pizza sauce, or how's this working?
Well, okay. Now, what I normally do with the sauce is I
You do
dip
it after. Oh, okay.
put it in a
Dip
cup
it
and
in
I
the sauce.
dip them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we're gonna melt all this cheese.
Cheesy goodness.
Yes, and I like lots of cheese. You can put you can put Parmesan on there also, if you have it. But again, this is stuff that I come up with when I've had a few puffs and I just see what's in my house, and then they become these. So I'm going to
Pass this
microwave.
plate to our handsome assistant and have him microwave it.
Yeah, so today we're using this Flying Noodle Old World pasta sauce.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
and you
It
can use
looks
any.
pretty good.
Yeah, you can use any sauce that you have lying around.
So would pizza sauce be better, or does it not
Probably.
matter?
I think pizza sauce would because it's a different consistency than like a jarred marinara.
Okay.
It's gonna be thicker and more dippable, I think.
Okay.
Like more
okay.
tomato paste heavy,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If it's like pizza sauce, because then it
Right.
squirts out, it stays in place like Lunchable pizzas, which is another favorite of mine. You don't like those? Oh, I love them.
I'm not a big Lunchable fan, but I do like, which you're gonna laugh at, the adult version of the Lunchable. What are those?
What, a
things
charcuterie
called?
board?
Well, yes, a charcuterie
are
board
cool.
is chef's kiss. But they have little ones that you can get, and it's got little crustinis in it, and like salami.
Yeah,
and
I've seen
like
those. They are
cheddar
yummy.
yeah. So. Well, show us your muscles. All right.
Yay.
Woo-hoo.
I'm gonna
Oh, are
shake
you
it up
showing
just a
us your
little bit more.
muscles?
Shake it up just a little bit more.
Did your handsome assistant show
Yes,
us his
he was
muscle?
showing
He
us his
did.
muscles.
Oh,
Yes, he
that's
was.
cute.
So yeah, we
Ooh,
just
okay.
That looks
now we
yummy.
have dipping sauce just like that. Now the other thing that it had occurred to me, I've never tried it
Okay,
before,
that's not
but
bad.
you could add other toppings to your nachos before you put the cheese on. You put your olives,
Okay.
Yes.
or like
Have
peppers or
olives, too.
pepperoni or sausage,
Got olives in there.
Sausage,
mushrooms.
mushrooms. Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Now I know that's not for you.
On half.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
while we wait, okay,
Gotcha.
I'm gonna ask. It's an ask the aunties time.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, this is a nerdy question.
Okay.
Okay.
Who was the worst Batman and why?
Val Kilmer.
Ooh, and what did he get wrong?
Everything.
I'll fight you for it too.
No.
I don't care.
Now, I will say, Batman is not my favorite. I'm a Superman girly. Most men are Batman dudes, but I'm a Superman girly. But yeah, Val Kilmer, horrible Batman. Best Batman, Christian Bale. Hands
Is that
down,
accurate?
best Batman.
Yeah, I think I agree with that too.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Christian Bale.
he was so good.
He,
Oh,
Yes, he had this intense.
but I think he was a good
intensity.
actor. The story was good. Just it was all good.
I think his
Even some of
intensity
the villains were good too.
was a lot like Batman is supposed
Right.
to be.
very
He's
broody,
broody,
very
dark,
Yep.
intense.
Yes, but Val Kilmer, no. Ugh. Mhm.
Now, do you know who surprised me was Robert Pattinson. His Batman was surprisingly. No, we don't like him.
I don't hate him. He's not the worst Batman. I don't.
Maybe my bar was just
got
really low
enough
for
yeah.
him.
I just don't think he's gotten a very good story. I think he's a really good actor. I do. Twilight aside, and
That's a pretty big aside.
I don't hate Twilight, by the way. So that was like a thing. Me and my daughter, we read the books together, we watched the movies, all that stuff. So I don't hate it. I have fond like nostalgia memories associated to it. But I think he's a good actor. There's this one movie, oh God, I think it's called Remember Me, that he did. It was so good. Just gut wrenching. You cry at the end. There's a little kind of shocking twist. Yeah, very good movie. And he's in it. He's really good in it.
Oh wait, I saw a clip of that. Okay, yeah, now I know which one you're talking about.
It's really
Oh my
good.
God.
I don't want to ruin it. And then I'm sorry, I liked him as Cedric Diggory too. Again, back to Harry Potter. He was a good Cedric Diggory, I thought, as well. But I also listened to the books. I don't know. Some people don't feel like listening is reading. That's a whole thing too. But I've listened to the books and I like the character. I thought he did justice to the character. I don't think the story is good. If that's
Okay.
I think he might be a good Batman if he had a better story. I
Okay,
don't love
that's
the story.
fair.
What I did think was good was the Penguin series that was a
seen any of
spinoff from the movie. Oh my God, it was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. And I couldn't believe that was Colin Farrell.
I know.
Oh, that's right.
He transformed into like a whole other person. But yeah, the Penguin, that was really good. But
Do you think?
all right.
Okay, so our Triscuit nachos have been microwaved, and I don't know if I said this earlier, but you can add other toppings that you like on your pizza. You can add those on here before you throw them in the microwave. And now all that's left to do is enjoy.
Okay, here we go. I'm going in, and we'll see how this goes. I'm taking one. I'm doing this for you, Miss Lisa.
I'm sure you are.
Just a second.
Taking one for the team.
Yes. Oh. I don't hate it. I think a pizza sauce would be better.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
I do think it would be good with other toppings. Okay, so of course Drayvon loves it. It's pizza.
So yeah, there it is. Try it if you're so inclined. But there it is, our first stony snack.
Mm.
Ooh.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm just gonna have a piece of cheese. Oh, too late. I ate it. Let's see. Hold on.
Yeah, put some sauce on it.
That pasta sauce is actually really
That
good.
is a really good sauce.
Yeah, that's what I was
I
thinking.
do
That
agree
pasta
with
sauce is
Monee.
great.
That a pizza sauce might, but I don't know. I didn't eat the Triscuit, so I don't know how it tastes.
A
with
cheese blend too.
Oh yeah, cheese blend for sure. Definitely need some Parmesan.
it. Although, you know,
You can put some Italian seasoning on it.
well, I'm like, oh yeah, you could.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pass this over to Mr. Handsome over there. All right. We're gonna move on to our next segment. Thank you for Stony Snacks. Woohoo! All right, so after having those Stony Snacks, we're gonna move on to our next segment, which is what would the aunties say? All right, here we go. All right, it says, am I the a-hole for telling husband he can leave me and our newborn and it wouldn't impact our lives? It says, my husband, 32 male, and I, 29 female, have been disagreeing lately about childcare for when I need to return to work full time. He wants to rely on his parents and my mom to watch our son, 3 months old, and I want to enroll him in an infant program at a daycare. Oh, wow. This feels familiar. I do not want his parents to watch our son for many reasons, but the biggest being his parents aren't capable of watching a newborn for 9 hours, and the fact that they refuse to follow the updated safety guidelines for preventions of SIDS. Every time I tell them updated information different from how they did it 30 years ago, I get comments like, my kids would be dead 100 times over nowadays with what I did, or you're letting these guidelines drive you crazy because I don't want my son to suffocate due to a blanket or bumpers being in/on his bassinet. To put it in a perspective, my in-laws have issues with their other daughter-in-law as well due to how they treat people around them. I could go on about the issues the in-laws and I have, but in the past, or have had in the past, but I don't want this post to be so long. Let's just say his parents purposely cross boundaries at the expense of others to get what they want. Anyways, the argument between my husband and I got very heated the other night as I was preparing our son's bath on the kitchen counter. As I was finishing filling it with water, my husband was so upset with our disagreement that he took the bath and flipped it over, resulting in water being all over our kitchen and dining room, hardwood floors, and table. I told him to get the F out of the house and not to come near me or our son. She was wearing like one of those baby things at the time. He kept trying to come near her to the point that I left the back door I left through the back door with my son and tried to get in my car to drive away, but my husband stood behind my car, so I couldn't leave. Oh my God. So I just walked away from the house instead so I could feel safe with our son.
Oh my
Really
Ugh.
feels very familiar. I'm a little triggered. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Eventually, I needed to come back in order to feed our son a bottle. My husband was attempting to clean up the gallons of water he spilled on the floor and all over the documents I had on the table. Floor, basement, ceiling, and documents ended up damaged. He said he would finish cleaning up and then leave the house. He left around midnight and didn't come back until 8 p.m. the next day. Sadly, this isn't the first time my husband has acted out of anger. While I was pregnant, he punched a hole in our hallway and then grabbed me, resulting in my shift being ripped. He also has knocked my possessions off countertops, resulting in things I cannot replace being broken. He always apologizes and says he will do better, but I no longer have hope for him. When he came back the other night, we continued the conversation about childcare and somehow got on the topic of another future baby, which I said I potentially did not want another child due to the traumatic birth of our son. I'm less than 3 months postpartum during this conversation. My husband then threatened to divorce me and go have a baby with someone else because his son will not be an only child. I flat out told him to file the paperwork without any emotion. I told him it wouldn't make a difference if he was here or not, considering he left for almost 24 hours without any communication and I can manage it all on my own. Do I want our son to have divorced parents? No, I don't. But I also don't want him to grow up around a father who acts out of anger and aggression. I just feel like I've been through enough with him, and for him to now threaten divorce over childcare and potentially not having another baby is absurd in my mind. I know during our arguments, I can say nasty things, but I never threaten divorce. Now, a few days later, we're trying to continue talking about childcare, but my trust for him and his parents is almost non existent due to his actions and words. I'm starting to feel like I am the a hole because I said that his leaving wouldn't make a difference. Like deep down, I do not want him to leave. But then I think about how mid typing this, I had to stop to go take out the garbage. It's 5 a.m. before collection, even though he said he did it before he went to bed. I just sometimes think he purposely is incompetent, so I just do everything. He says I won't have to coordinate with our parents on who's watching our son when during the week, and he wouldn't do it. But I know that won't happen, and I will have to end up doing it. I just don't need the extra stress and rather have something consistent. I just don't know what to do or if I am the a hole for not wanting this life as it is right now for our son. Any advice or words of wisdom are welcome.
Is there an update on there?
I don't see an update on there. Yeah.
So she stayed.
I'm sure she did.
I feel bad for her.
Technically, doesn't it take like 7 attempts before people leave abusive relationships?
I don't know. I don't know how long it took for me.
I think that's your statistic.
I don't know how long it took for me. It took a while. We were together for
like 7 tries or something.
We were together
like that.
for 12 years. So
with the aunties,
I'm going to preface. We are not professionals. I am someone who did leave an abusive relationship, and some of these things actually happened to me. So this is triggering for me. I can't tell you how many times my ex would take the keys so I couldn't leave because he wanted to fight. I later found out that is actually kidnapping. So
You could have put his dumbass in jail.
Yeah, I didn't know. Know.
Wow.
But she should absolutely leave and not feel like an a-hole. I get not wanting your kids to not grow up without their parents, but it sounds like his parents have taught him that this behavior is okay.
Absolutely.
Basically, to do whatever it takes to get what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And so for him, what it takes to get what he wants is abuse and weaponized incompetence.
Mm-hmm.
And so her and her kids will absolutely be better. I know for myself personally, I have a lot of guilt for feeling like it took me too long. It took me too long to leave. And my kids would have been so much better off if I had done it sooner. And you can put it off, but it's not gonna get better. He's not going to all of a sudden have an epiphany and be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And yet you're gonna keep doing everything. So leave him.
Because every time you go back, it teaches him that he can stretch that envelope further.
Yes, and that he can keep pushing it and keep pushing
and
it.
that you'll take more and more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
and with his family being the way they are, again, I am a proponent of professional help.
yes.
She might even want to consider on the DL getting help from one of those networks and moving far, far, far away.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, like,
because they're going to escalate about custody.
Yeah, they
you
will.
don't want their kid. You don't want your kids raised by those people.
Right.
They're going to escalate about any divorce.
Right.
He doesn't want you leaving him. He's going to escalate if you try to date somebody else. That's
oh God,
going to
yeah, that's going to be huge.
That's going to be huge.
Deep end.
And she's probably not going to want to date right away anyway.
Oh no.
But no matter what happens,
but it will not be pleasant.
It won't
At
be
least
pleasant.
It wasn't for me.
It won't be pleasant. It will not be pleasant no matter how many years down the road.
Yeah.
So maybe you're not ready to go today or tomorrow, but she should
definitely be working on a plan.
A plan to leave.
Yeah.
Because sometimes distance, unless he's real cray-cray, distance will calm it down because they have to actually use resources and time and effort and energy to mess with you from across town.
Right. And it might not be something that he wants to do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that kind of stuff is more about controlling you and manipulating you. And so once
the
they realize they
away
can't control and manipulate you, they're not interested at all.
Right. But some of them can be crazy. Yeah. And so if they have to put just a little extra effort in, that may stop them. I'm not saying that it does or will. Yeah. But when you have people who feel entitled to you and your decisions, they want to control you. Right. They don't even they feel like their parents are the only ones. I mean, there's just so much there to unpack. She, of course, needs professional help. Yeah. And she probably needs one of those networks or services.
And they do
that
exist.
Help.
And they do exist. So.
Because, I mean, I know Reddit is like, leave him. But when it comes to abuse, you should run. Like your hair is on fire because it always escalates. Yeah. It never de-escalates.
Right. It will continue. Escalates. Like I said, it's not going to get better. No matter what he tells you, and he is actually showing you with his actions. He told you that he took out the trash. Why he lied, I don't get. But he took out the trash, but then didn't. That's weaponized incompetence. He's doing that on purpose. It's not. He's consistently being inconsistent, and that's not going to change. And so, and there are networks that can help. I think daycare, again, when I said it was triggering, it was. My ex-husband and I actually would fight over, he felt like my daughter, who was a teenager at the time, she could watch him. And I'm like, no, she's got school. And he didn't want me to have, oh, it's an extra expense that we don't need. It's like, well, she's a child. Her job is not to watch our kid. We're gonna put him in daycare, and it was a huge fight, but yeah, so I won that one. But again, even when I made the decision to leave, and I made the decision that I was leaving, and I spent 2 years telling him I wanted a divorce before I actually got him out of my house.
Wow.
Yeah. So it can take time. And I actually went to one of those organizations, got paperwork, got legal advice, got all of that. And it still took me 2 years and once I got him out of my house and filed for divorce, that took it took 8 months. Mm-hmm. So, and so it was a dark time in my life. Let's just put it that way. Mm-hmm. So, my heart goes out to this woman. I understand completely. I have been there. I've had things broken that I could never replace. I have had things thrown out, sold, you name it. My heart goes out to this woman.
Now, I will say that I think that what she said to him was the exact right thing to say, and here's why. Even if she doesn't even believe it herself, that she doesn't need him, mm-hmm. or that her child mm-hmm. won't need him, it takes the highest level of currency mm-hmm. that an abuser has away. And it's how much do you need me? Right, because that is the control and the power. And by saying that, again, even if you don't believe it, I'm mm-hmm. so glad you said that, because you know what the currency is, and you are now leaving him bankrupt. Yeah. Keep doing that. Mm-hmm. Don't put anything in that bank account. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Absolutely. But yeah, that was heavy. That was heavy, y'all.
Yeah, maybe we should do a different one. I didn't get to tell any jokes or anything.
Well, that was picked out by my child. Yeah, that was picked out by my child. All right, so I have a topic, you guys. I saw this as I was scrolling TikTok looking for fails, full-chested fails, which that was definitely a rough today. But on this, there was a TikTok, and I'm not going to show it because it's really long, but there was this woman, and she took this video of this guy, and they were on a first date, and he brought his 6-month-old baby to the baby is cute too, because she shows him in the video and stuff. But yes, he brought his 6-month-old baby they had decided they were going to have a breakfast date. And he brought his 6-month-old baby to their first date. Right. And so for me, I was like, oh my God. And of course she, talks about the baby and how she has kids too. And she got a sitter for her kids. And how it was okay for pretty much half the day the baby slept, but then the baby woke up, and every time we put the baby down, it would start screaming. And, and he'd give it a little food here and there. And then eventually he just sat the baby next to him and started feeding, I think it was started feeding her, but, I was flabbergasted. What do we think about this, ladies? I see the faces. I saw both the faces.
I feel like I gotta bite my tongue here because.
Oh, why?
Where to start? Where to start? Okay, I'm going to say this as nicely as possible. His baby is 6 months old. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming he's not married.
Let's hope not.
But even if he's just got a baby mama, mm-hmm. having a 6-month-old that you are caring for, man, you don't really have time for dating.
Yeah,
you really don't. I mean, there's so much going on that first year.
Yeah, that's true.
You should probably. I mean, there'll be people. Well, he doesn't have to be because he's a dad. I'm like, but yeah, you kind of do make some sacrifices for your children.
Absolutely.
Whether they're co-parenting, whether he's lying and he's married, and he thinks, babies and puppies, great on dates. Ugh, that's a whole nother can of worms.
Clearly he's never had a puppy. Oh my God.
I'm just saying. So I just think that with a 6-month-old baby, you should have different priorities.
Yeah.
And that, that's just it. I mean, she's got other kids. She's got her own kids. How old are they? Do you want that extra?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know where this relationship is going.
Right.
It may be going nowhere after that breakfast.
I would assume it was.
I would hope so, actually. Mostly because he isn't in a place for it.
Yeah.
He cannot, I'm not kidding. Emotionally, monetarily, energy, babies are work.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
I do know. As they get a little older, it gets a little better.
Yeah.
6 months old, I'm sorry, that's he's not. No.
Lisa says no. It's rude.
Rude. There is that.
Okay, yeah.
It's rude. Unless he asked if that was okay. Yeah. That baby is not something you spring on somebody on a first date. Are you kidding me?
I couldn't believe. I said
rude.
Much nicer than what I would have.
I'm glad you said it. It was a lot. I was just like, wow.
Like I said, I had to rein it in, and I still rein it in. But
see, I am of the mind that you shouldn't date with your kids because you don't know. You might have been talking back and forth with this person, but you don't really know this person. And so why would you expose your child to a whole new person that may or may not be in their lives, after this date? I mean, for all he knows, she's got COVID and your child just got it, or she's got chickenpox. So I don't know, some crazy disease or just whatever that's communicable, and it's just, I don't know, I feel like it's not, it's less, more, even with it being rude, it's just not safe. It's a not safe situation, and I know for me, I would be so uncomfortable. And again, why you have coffee? Because there she is, stuck having breakfast with
another one that should have been a coffee
baby.
Well, and here's the other thing,
and I love breakfast too, so I would be so mad. I'm like, you are ruining my breakfast.
That's the best meal of the fucking day.
Oh my God!
Especially if you go to a good breakfast house,
right?
Yeah. Oh my God!
If somebody did that to me at Old European.
See, you are now an enemy.
Yes. Oh yeah. You just
war. You are my enemy. Sit down and eat your waffles.
The other thing is, if this baby's only 6 months old, that means we're dealing with a very recent breakup,
right?
Either that, or we're dealing with somebody that left us somebody when they were pregnant.
Oh, that's that also kind of.
He's not ready. He's not ready.
Either way.
There's no way
that guy's wasting your time.
Yeah, there's no.
All right, so now we're going to do full-chested fails, and full-chested fails. Everybody really likes these. Are when somebody gets on the internet and they say the most audacious things with their full chest. Yes, and this one, okay, when I first watched it, I kind of chuckled. I'm like, okay, ha. But then when I thought about it more, I was like, ew. So,
okay.
And then I thought about it again, and I thought, did I chuckle? Because again, I think that the person who's, talking, I've watched some of his videos. He's kind of a funny guy, and I find him attractive. And so that's a whole other layer onto this. But here we go. We're going to get into it.
Yeah.
I'll push it over and make sure everything's turned up.
Ladies, you need to be mindful about how you order food when you go on these dates. The more expensive the plate, the more play we think we're getting at the end of the date. If you're ordering surf and turf, we think we lifting skirts. Chicken or fish, hug, maybe kiss. It's that simple. 80s.
See, Miss Lisa's face. It's always. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What makes you think you deserve more than a fucking handshake at the end of the day?
Yeah, and that's like I said. At first, I was kind of like I chuckled a little bit, and afterwards, I was like, ew. But now, mind you, my mom always told me if you're going out on a date, make sure you have enough money to cover your meal
and get yourself home.
Yes, and get yourself home. And so that's what our mom always told us.
And God knows how long ago that was.
Right. And nowadays, you have this whole trend where guys are like, I forgot my wallet.
I'm so sorry. I guess you're going to bust some suds in the back.
Yes. But yes, and so I saw this, like I said, at first I kind of chuckled, and then I thought about it. I'm like, ew. Because, yeah, why is it that someone feels like if they paid for an expensive date, then they now have a right to
anything but a handshake.
Anything.
If that's the way you roll, you need to go get a sex worker and just skip dinner. And why are you wasting my time?
Right.
I'm sorry. You don't want to get to know me. This is transactional, and you think if you buy me a steak, we're going to do something later.
Right.
Please.
Yeah.
I am sure by the time we are finished with the date, you will have said something that has me drier than the Sahara. And thank you, but no.
And again, more dates that should have been coffee.
Oh my God, that could be a new segment. Dates that should have been coffee.
Right? Yes.
I'm just saying.
But yeah, I saw that and I just was like, well, that just gives me the ick. And I'm telling you, sometimes trying to surf TikTok looking for fails, some days I'm just like, I don't want to know more.
I don't even know where to start. There's so many.
Well,
I'm spoiled for choice.
Why? Why? But yeah, I just thought it was insane that, and I get it. He's making a joke. He's trying to,
was that staged?
I don't know. I don't think it was staged. It's just him, some dude sharing his thoughts.
Well, but I mean, that's his thoughts.
Yeah.
So he either thinks that way, oh my God, knows some people who think that way,
or because he does have a daughter,
is horrified.
He's letting her know, when you date, this is what you need to be looking out for. What
because
he needs to do is
men are trash.
Yeah. So what he needs to be telling her is what our mom told us was make sure you have enough money to pay for yourself and get yourself home.
Well, in this day and age,
which is why I always drive my own car.
I was going to say, this day and age, you don't even want that dude knowing where you live.
Exactly. And that's why I meet you. I drive my own car. And if I don't have it, I make sure I schedule it for a time when I have it so that I can pay for myself. And I have not personally been in the position where some guy has been like, oh, I forgot my wallet. I did have one guy. It was really funny. This guy, he's like trying to meet up and I'm like, oh yeah, let's meet for drinks. He's like, I'm free after work. And I'm like, okay, let's meet for drinks. And I think it was you that I was talking to about it. And I go, because he seemed iffy on meeting for drinks, I said, eventually this conversation is going to lead back to, oh, you can come to my place.
Ew.
Remember? Do you remember we had this conversation?
Ew.
And you're like, oh, no, I'm sure it's fine. And eventually, because he was like, oh, yeah, I left my wallet at home. And I was like, oh, okay, do you want to meet later? Yeah. Because it's like, you could go home and get your wallet. I think he was expecting me to say, oh, I'll pay. And I was not ever going to be like, oh, I'll pay. And then he goes, oh, yeah. And eventually the conversation progressed to, oh, yeah, I'm home. Oh, this idea never occurred to me. You could always just come over here. I've got wine.
No, thank you, serial killer.
Right.
Yeah. I want to live. I want to be free.
Right. My skin is not nice enough for you to want to wear it. So. But yeah, and I was just kind of like, no, I'm good. And I think I said, no, I'm not comfortable with that. I can't remember how it all finished, but basically it was kind of me saying, I'm not driving all the way to driving 45 minutes to your house. Right. Because he lived in Coeur d'Alene.
Oh dear God!
And so he wanted me to drive to his house.
Not
and so I'm
even
like,
on a weekend,
girl. I know that's
well,
right.
especially not after work.
Well, especially for someone that we were only messaging back and forth. I don't even have his phone number.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm like,
no.
Why would I go to your house?
Uh-uh.
And so, I just, I was politely said, oh, no, thank you. And, I assumed drinks were off. And so, I'm not in a going out place or something. I can't remember. We can just reschedule for another time to meet up at another time. And of course, I never heard from him again because what he was looking for was for me to come to his place
house.
So he could get me liquored up and do whatever. I don't know.
Right. And he ain't even got enough get up and go to try and get you somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough money to get you in a hotel or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Like I said, no, thank you, serial killer.
Just lazy.
I'm not coming to your house.
Just so lazy.
Well,
and I remember telling you, I go, oh, look at this. And I remember sending it to you.
But best case scenario is he's just a lazy bum.
Right. Looking for sex.
Looking for sex.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Worst case,
he crazy.
He's a
serial killer.
It's like, I love my sister. I haven't seen her since she went to this day. Please, if anyone has seen this woman.
Right. But yeah, so just, Dayton's crazy. Crazy.
It is. It absolutely is.
It absolutely is. So, all right.
Well,
there we go.
Amanda did not give her in on the
the lifting your skirts and
he did. Honestly, he just went in one ear and out the other for me because it's just that was like so lame. It just didn't even go through my brain matter. It just completely just went around it. Like my brain was just like, what the
big fail.
Big
fail.
I did.
That's a
the logic.
Fail. Okay.
I don't know who made him think that any of what he just said was accurate,
or funny.
No, it's oh man.
Okay, now we know.
Heard it. Now we know.
And see, I'm just like, it was sad for me because I watched some of his videos. I think he's funny. He tries to be motivational, but that I was like, no.
Now I will say this: if I was dating now, I would never, ever, ever, ever let someone else pay for me. If anything, I'm going to pay for them so they know I am the one in control of this situation.
I'm not even doing that.
And if you're not down with that, I've got 2 words for it. Now I'm going into wrestling territory. Okay. I'm going to stop right there. But if you know, you know.
I'm not paying for him. He asked me.
I will, just so they know that what I say goes. It's worth twice that, so for them to know I have the power.
See, I'm not. No, I would pay for me.
Energy for someone my age.
I would pay for me, and then be the Simpson meme where he's backing into the bushes slowly. It's just like, nope. That's it. I'm good. I'm good. Which is again why I like doing coffee.
And if I gotta go, another day there should have been a coffee. And if I gotta go Dutch treat, I would much rather go out with one of my girls, than some strange dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
Agreed.
Sorry.
Oh no, I gotcha.
At least we can make a few good jokes.
Yes.
I don't puff, but if I did, we could puff.
Right.
See, now that is a date I could get behind.
Have a drink. Yes.
I could get behind. Let's go to the weed store.
No,
that's a great date.
Oh, I know.
And see, for me, I'm like, let's get some food. I love good food and good conversation. So good food, good conversation. Absolutely, I'm always down.
And not with some dude trying to posture or trying to figure out if he's getting some at the end of the day. Because, like I said, I am certain that way before we get to the end, he has said something monumentally stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not interested.
Well, maybe you
anymore.
have too. Maybe you said something.
Of
That's gonna
course.
turn them all the way off, you
yes.
know,
Oh, I'm
so,
sure.
I mean, it's definitely.
Here's
I
the
said
difference.
no.
Here's the difference. I could say something monumentally stupid, and he would still want to get in the pants.
Well, that's
True.
true. Right, because at least from some of the
Because that's what men
videos
do.
I've been
That's how they
watching,
date. That's
from
how
some
they
of
operate.
the videos I've been watching, basically, I don't know if this is true or not, because again, these dudes are.
Well, I mean, if it's
but
a
it
bad
talks
dude,
about, well, even if they're not dateable, you can at least sleep with them. I've seen. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that. Like I said, I've been watching some of these fails, going, I don't want to anymore.
right.
Because some of them have been rough. But
And
So-
I'm sure some of your dating experiences, I know some of mine from the past when I did date,
Mhm.
still indicate that a guy would still
Oh yeah.
sleep with you even if
Mm.
he doesn't find you attractive,
Yep.
or you said something awful,
Yep.
or you said you're too churchy. I mean, there are a
Well,
whole
and
list of things.
one of the more negative things that I have happened to me is because I am a bigger girl, I will sometimes get these guys who think that because I'm a bigger girl, I should be grateful for their attention
Thank you.
and want to. I love the face.
Thank you.
That I should be grateful for their attention and want to pay for them, sleep with them,
Right.
buy them things.
And this is when you're young and you're still impressionable, and you may or may not buy
I
some
know.
of that bullshit. Or think of how many times you did consider, but you never heard back. Or
Right.
maybe one time or two, you're
Right.
like, what the
Right.
hell? When you did
right.
on the second date or the first date or whatever,
Right.
and then they ghost you.
Right. Because they got what they wanted.
They already got what they
so
wanted.
and I'm pretty good at clocking that kind of behavior
Well, older,
at this point.
Well, now.
And so usually I'm kind of like, ugh, no, or if they kind of, because a lot of men that feel this way or have that kind of attitude will float little
Mhm.
phrases out towards you, and I will generally come back with, oh, okay, well, what are you going to do for me? And or if I respond in a confident manner for that kind of guy, it's total turn off.
Yeah,
because that means I actually know my value, and I'm not going to let you treat me any old kind of way.
Right.
And I'm not going to let you talk crazy to me. And so that's the other thing. Like I said, I hate when they make me sound like their mommy, because I'll be like, did you think that this was okay to say to me? Come on, bro, do better. I have written that more than once, actually. I've actually even said before, what in the past, because I actually have looked, like someone will come out of left field with some crazy stuff, and I'll just look at the conversation and go, how did I indicate that's, and when I go back and look at the conversation, I will then come back and say, what in our conversation made you think it was okay to say this to me? And I'm not being rude. I mean, I'm genuinely curious. And in most cases, that's the end of the conversation. And sometimes I'll block them. Sometimes they'll block me. I'm totally fine with that.
You're like, that's a win.
Right. Because
You
it's like,
blocked me.
yeah. So, because why do you feel like it's okay to be inappropriate? It's like I said, just,
Yeah.
And some there's not a response. You know what I mean? I feel like a real man would, oh, I'm sorry. I was so excited. Anything along
Have you
those
ever
lines.
had anyone answer that with an acceptable answer?
Oh, no, there's no.
There's no acceptable answer.
I was just so excited because you're so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay.
It's like, well, now that I believe, but
Still not appropriate.
Right. Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you. Thank you, next. Yeah. Okay. So that was the full-chested fail, and boy, was it a fail.
Ugh.
I need a puff after
we
that.
all have the ick.
I think all three of us need one, actually.
Yes. I already tried your snacks. That's all you're getting. All right, you guys. That has been the House of Hamm podcast. Thank you for hanging out with us today. I am the Empress of the Manor. This is
The lady of shit.
and our special guest today,
Lady Hazington.
Yes. We send you nothing but love and light. And we hope you have a wonderful night, day, time, the rest of the time. We hope you have a wonderful night, day, wherever you are. Thank you and bye.